Okay, it's Cheryl. I'm back. I had a little bit of trouble getting my video to start. I posted the smoky quartz video. My one candle burned out. My candles are getting pretty low. They're about ready to burn out, but I'll have to get new candles. So that might be a message too. Like, don't let yourself burn out. Take care of yourself and have a lot of self-care, and don't burn yourself out, because that happens sometimes. You don't get enough sleep and you're under a lot of stress, and like that happened to me, and I had a heart attack, and it was just kind of a wake-up call to take care of myself better and get more sleep, and that's really important. I've been getting way more sleep than I used to. And it's definitely helped a lot. Okay, I'm doing the goddess deck, and we got Venus. Venus is the Roman goddess of grace and love, called Aphrodite by the Greeks. She evolved from an early Italian nature goddess, a bringer of spring and blooms and vines, a goddess of growth and the beauty of nature. Goddess of desire, Venus was the irresistible personification of both physical and spiritual love. She gave her name to the second planet of dawn and dusk, as did her sister goddess Inanna, Samaria, and Ishtar, Babylonia. The story of Venus's birth tells how she arose naked from the sea, the source of all life, primordial creation, and is a symbol of both the collective unconscious and eternity. It's a wonderful image for the emergence of a young woman into her full femininity. Venus is a striking affirmation of the love of beauty and the pleasure of the senses. Risen from the sea, she is a guide through both the stormy and calm waters of our physical desires and emotions. And when you look at your birth chart, I know that Venus is the planet that rules your love life. So that's the goddess for today. And I'm going to do some cards from the Beautiful Creatures Tarot. And I like this deck because it has purple on the edges. It's really shiny. It's kind of wearing out now, but purple is my favorite color, so. This deck is a little hard to shuffle because the cards are a little bit hard to shuffle, but I go to weekly meetups at the library, and one person that showed up there one time had this deck, and I really liked it, so I got it. Like, that's how I've got a lot of my decks. Some of them I just picked out on my own, but some of them, like, other people have had them and I liked them, so. Because I used to listen to a lot of tarot, and I don't quite as much anymore, because sometimes it's not good to listen to too much, but once in a while I still do. It's good to use your own intuition too. Like, sometimes if you listen to too much, it can put things in your mind that aren't really true, so and too much of anything is not good. Just like I'm trying to cut down on my smoking, and it's hard, but I'm doing better on that. Morning is my worst time. When I wake up, I have to have my coffee and cigarettes. And it's like the first thing I do in the morning. I don't know if we're going to get any more cards from this deck. think that's going to be it for this deck. Okay. We got the Chariot reversed and Knight of Swords in the upright. And I need to get back to studying the tarot. I know the next cards I'm going to study that came up lately for me is Justice and the Lover's card. Those are the next ones I'm going to study. And I know I said I was going to do a live yesterday and I never did. But I might get to that. I'm not going to say that I'm going to do it for sure, because if I do that, I'll do it. But I don't know. Okay. Chariot's in the reverse. This card tells you that there's no physical, emotion, or mental motivation occurring in your life. You're feeling so much pressure that everything around you is starting to collapse. Instead of gaining self-control, you're losing control of what's around you. And Knight of Swords. I think you shouldn't contemplate on your ideas, just set them free. The key word is idealism. Two witty, identical twins are ready to take off, letting their curiosity lead the way into the unknown places. What they experience by their curious attitude serves as a lesson. When they search for someone who needs to learn from curiosity, they manifest. Take that person's hand and throws them into an unknown situation. These twins are responsible for manifesting the effects of their curiosity, which in turn becomes idealism. The energy of the Knight of Swords is keen, curious, and playful. The Knight of Swords, ruled by Mercury, the planet of speed and communication, is associated with Gemini, who embodies an idealistic archetype. Gemini rules sibling relationships. Archetype. The Knight of Swords denotes a person who is unwillingly curious and at times an adventurer who likes to learn through experiences. Their ideas are never grounded, and many times they are up in the air. They think and imagine the outrageous. Gemini is an air sign. Their thoughts are what lead the way and open possibilities in their lives. On the negative side, this can indicate a person who is indecisive and can't come to a concrete decision without going in circles. The majority of their failures happen because they do not center their thoughts. Instead of searching for one solution at a time, they would much rather be bombarded by many thoughts that serve no purpose. The Knight of Swords represents a situation where a simple task of curiosity may lead to and feed you wonderful knowledge. There are so many ideas running through your head to aid in fixing a problem you have been unable to overcome. Your analytical ability will be one that you have to rely on no matter what. On the negative side, avoid being too indecisive and learn to make a final decision for once. You're running around in circles that provide no option or solution. This is also hurting you in the long run by making you not trust yourself. Being indecisive leads to confusion and mental blockages. And so that is the Knight of Swords. And the last deck I'm going to pull from is the Osho Zen Tarot. And this is a message for the collective, so any of these could resonate with you. And if they don't, you can always go back to any other of my readings. And this deck was recommended to me by one of my friends. Trying to do different decks. I just pull cards from whatever decks I'm drawn to. And it's the same every time. Some days it's the same, but not always. It's good to have variety. By the way, if XM radio. It's free until June 6th. I heard that. I have XM radio and I listen to it all the time. So if you have a receiver that has that, it's free until June 6th. Music is a big part of my life. I listen to it most of the day. Oh, and I get to go back to work Monday too. I found that out yesterday, so. I don't know if we're going to get many cards from this deck. Okay, we got the Rebel and Letting Go. Letting go. In existence, there is nobody who is superior and nobody who is inferior. The blade of grass and the great star are absolutely equal. But man wants to be higher than others. He wants to conquer nature. Hence, he has to fight continuously. All complexity arises out of this fight. The innocent person is one who has renounced fighting, who is no longer interested in being higher, who is no longer interested in performing and proving that he is someone special, who has become like a rose flower or like a dewdrop on the lotus leaf, who has become part of this infinity, who has melted, merged, and become one with the ocean and is just a wave, who has no idea of the I, and the disappearance of the I is innocence. And the Rebel. So nobody is superior to anybody else. Everybody's equal. Okay, the Rebel. People are afraid, very much afraid of those who know themselves. They have a certain power, a certain aura, and certain magnetism, a charisma that can take out alive young people from the traditional imprisonment. The enlightened man cannot be enslaved. That is the difficulty, and he cannot be imprisoned. Every genius who has known something of the inner is bound to be a little difficult to be absorbed. He is going to be an upsetting force. The masses don't want to be disturbed, even though they may be in misery. They are in misery, but they are accustomed to the misery. And anybody who is not miserable looks like a stranger. The enlightened man is the greatest stranger in the world. He does not seem to belong to anybody. No organization confines him, no community, no society, no nation. And that reminds me, I started reading this book yesterday called The Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz, and it's a very good book. I'm up to page 63 now, so I'm about halfway done with it, and it is a very good book, and I highly recommend it. And my friend's starting a book club, and this is a book we're reading, and I got it at Five Below for $5, so if you have a Five Below by you, it might have this book for $5, and I highly recommend it. Okay, that's it for the reading, and I think I'm going to dry my hair and get ready.